was working, keeping our asses off of welfare. That's where I was. You can't, I don't care. You could be the best out. There's no book on kids. Nobody tells you how to raise them. And you cannot be with your kid 24/7.
When he was in the 5th grade, TJ started escaping the house and spending more and more time away from home. Vicky heard a rumor that he was trying to join the Simon City Royals.
And I grabbed him. The only gang you got is your family.
In big cities like Chicago and LA, a gang and your family are often intertwined. Gangs have been around for a long time, and they're generational.
Did you have any family members that were members of the Royals prior to you being a member of the Royals?
Yes.
Who's that?
My Uncle Mark, my Uncle Kermit.
His uncles were his only father figure.
Mark and Kermit were Vicky's brothers. She went to have a little talk with Mark.
And I said, look at Mark, your fucking gang is trying to get my son to join. The Pee-wees, whatever the hell you guys call it. I said, if my son joins this gang, it's on you. I will never, ever, ever forgive you for that. And he goes, he ain't joining. But TJ went behind their backs.
TJ was beaten, violated into the Pee-wee Royals. He's got a bunch of new friends. He and Larry are doing drugs, partying. He's carrying a gun around the neighborhood. Vicky claims she didn't see much evidence of all that, but she was working 2 or 3 jobs.
I know he didn't bring no damn gun in my house. You know, I did his clothes, I did everything. Never found no drugs. Maybe he was different than he was at home. Because all he cared about was what's for dinner. You know?
On February 3rd, 1993, at 6:25 p.m., Larry Tufel was walking east on Belmont Avenue with his friend Eric Morrow. Larry was 14, Eric was older, 19.
I don't know how those miners overpowered him in the first place and how he got shot like that, you know? He was such a strong person, Eric. He was a tough guy, you know? He was never involved in gangs or anything.
2 kids approached them from behind. A fight ensues next to a honey-baked ham store. One of the kids pushes Eric up against the wall. He pulls out a gun and shoots Eric once in the chest. The 2 kids run away. Larry goes to help Eric.
He was holding his chest, and then he just collapsed, and I grabbed him, and I was holding him. And that's when everybody came out after that, and people were screaming, call the police. I was screaming, call the police.
Minutes later, Eric dies.
The day Eric Morrow got shot. Your recollection is that you did go to school that day?
Yes.
After school, what do you recall happening?
I got on the bus, as I usually do, and I got off the bus at the intersection of Belmont and Sacramento.
And why did you get off at Belmont and Sacramento?
Because I seen Eric and Larry hanging out right there in the corner.
Eric was friends with Royals like Larry and TJ, but he wasn't in a gang. While they're all standing on the corner, Larry and TJ see a school bus go by.
There were some gangbangers inside the school bus, and they were flashing gang signs at us, so we started flashing back.
Eric supposedly got mad and yelled at TJ to cut out the stupid gang signs. Prosecutors cited that altercation as TJ's motive for later shooting Eric. TJ admits to throwing gang signs, but says there wasn't a fight. Prosecutors also said TJ had a gun earlier in the day, and they had some evidence for it. That same day, TJ, Larry, and Eric were visiting a friend in the neighborhood.
TJ had a gun and it was in the hallway, and he was bragging about it and flashing it around and waving it around, and Eric seen that and told him to get the fuck out of the hallway and leave. That happened early on before he got shot.
TJ says he didn't even have a gun that day.
What happens next?
We went to the playground, and we played basketball for a while there.
And why did you leave?
I had to go home.
Why?
Because I was supposed to go straight home that day from school.
Vicky had given TJ a curfew because he was failing 7th grade. That day, he was supposed to go straight to his grandmother's house and do his homework. He was a little late.
I got mad at him. I told you to come straight home. You know, well, we call Granny's house home. So I know he was there by 5 o'clock.
Vicky was at Granny's that evening before working the graveyard shift at a restaurant.
Do you remember actually seeing your mom? Was she present?
Yeah, she was there.
And you actually talked to her?
Yeah.
TJ says he didn't start his homework right away. He got distracted.
My cousin Chester was there. He had brought his video game over. It was a Sega, I believe he got for Christmas or something like that. That's what we did. We played video games.
He was on the game, and in the head, I said, get off the goddamn game and get the goddamn homework done. Now.
This was before you went off to work.
Right.
According to TJ and Vicky, TJ then started his homework. And that's what TJ was doing at 6:25 p.m., while Eric Morrow was being shot about a mile away. Around 7 o'clock, Vicky went to work at the restaurant. Several hours later, TJ climbed onto a couch in his grandmother's front room and went to sleep. Around 3:30 in the morning.
So, let's talk about when the police came to your house. What do you remember happening?
I remember them banging on the doors and on the windows, waking everybody up in the apartment that was there. We were all scared. Most of the people that were in the front were kids.
Who answered the door?
My grandmother.
Then what happens?
The police, they come in, they ask for TJ.
What did you do, if anything?
I told them I was TJ.
Did the police say anything else to you? Inside the house?
They told me to turn around and put my hands behind my back. They told my grandmother they were taking me to, I was being arrested for murder.
Vicky left work around 6 in the morning. She then went to her mom's house.
And I walked in about, say, 6:30, and everybody jumped up. The police came and took TJ. My mom didn't call me because she said that TJ's last words were, "Don't worry, Granny, I'll be right back. It's a mistake." So I didn't think I needed to call you. And I says, "Mom, that's my son. You call me." She goes, "You would have walked off the job." I said, "Damn right I would have walked off the job." You know, she goes, "But he said he'll be right back."
TJ wouldn't come home again for 16 years.